Alright, I wasn't planning on doing this today, but since I've broken my Pi, I just kind of wanted to show you guys what exactly happened to this. So, first let's start with the charger. If I was to plug this guy in, you'll see that we have a red light right there, but there is no green coming on. That is not a good sign. Um, Generally, if you don't have an SD card in, that would be normal because the green light starts coming on once the CPU is interacting with the micro SD card. So even if we were to put this in, we're not going to get any sort of green blinking light there. So that's a pretty, and see how that just turned right off? That's a pretty good indication that our Pi is dead. But if we want to test it, we can with this thing called a multimeter. Now, what I did was, let's see, I think you guys can see this all right. So I just used one of these pins as the ground. Sorry, one of these, just pieces of metal as the ground. And then these two pins right here, you've got pin 1 and pin 2. Pin 1 is a 5-volt pin. And if you, oops, I just shorted it again. Oh well. This is why you need to be careful. Okay. Yeah, now we're getting 1.5. Okay. So let's unplug this, plug it back in. We shorted it again. Thankfully, it's already a broken Pi. Now let's ground it, touch that pin, and we should be getting 5 volts. Yep, we are getting 5 volts. That is exactly what we should be getting on this pin, because this is a 5-volt pin. Now this pin, pin number 2 over here, that's a 3-volt pin. And what we did was I was trying to test this pin. I got a 5-volt, and then I went to go test this pin, but I slipped and I shorted the 2 pins. See that? See how that light is turning off when I short those? That's a bad thing. So this pin is dead. See, 0 amps, or sorry, 0 volts. We are not getting any voltage out of this pin. Our 5 volts are giving us 5, and oh, is our other 5-volt broken? No, okay, 5 and 5. So we got 5 on here, and 5 on here. But our 3.3 volts, they're done. There's nothing we can do. Now, this is the Raspberry Pi 3B+. I also have a Raspberry Pi B, which I've also destroyed. But this one is a little bit different. If you notice, when we plug this in, there's no red light at all. But if we were to do the same thing, check our pins, 5-volt is giving us 5. That's a good sign. Our other 5-volt is giving us about 5. Well, let's go over to this 3.3 volt. Ooh, that's interesting. 1 volt. 1.03. So something happened to this Pi where it didn't get completely destroyed. Like we saw over here, we were getting 0 volts on our 3.3. But this Pi is still not working. I've shorted out both of these just so that you guys know. Both of these have been shorted out. And yeah, it's a very easy mistake to make. All you have to do is accidentally touch both of these pins at the same time. Your Pi is broken. You need to be really, really careful when you're doing stuff like this. It's totally on me. It's completely my fault. But I just wanted you guys to be aware of Pis are pretty resilient. I don't want you to get the idea that these things are extremely fragile, but you have to know what will break it. And one thing that will break it is short-circuiting a 5-volt and a 3.3 volt. At that point, you basically have 8.3 volts flowing through the 3.3 volt system, and it just fries the circuits. There's nothing you can do at that point. It's a dead Pi. You're going to have to get a new one. So just be aware. Be very careful with short circuits. Multimeters are great tools. They're something very useful that you can use to check voltage. I would not have been able to finish my car without a multimeter because I realized that the power that I was supplying to my H-bridge was not enough, and I had to increase the voltage. So these are useful tools, but be aware. It's metal, and you can short circuit something with metal. So that's all for now, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on why I wasn't able to finish my earlier video. And hopefully you're a little bit smarter and you'll know how to avoid the mistake that I made. All right, that's it for this one. Have a good night, guys.